Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm your host Yang Jin. Today we are going to talk about how can we get rid of the sense of lack when we literally don't have that thing. When it comes to spirituality, people often say, you don't have the thing you want because you're in the sense of lack. You have to feel abundant first, and then you will attract whatever you want. This idea often confuses me because I feel a sense of lack for something because I genuinely don't have it. How can I get rid of the sense of lack when I don't have that thing? In other words, how can people feel financially abundant when they are poor? And how can people feel emotionally abundant while lacking love? First, let's talk about what is the sense of lack. According to ChatGPT, the sense of lack is a psychological state in which an individual feels insufficient or lacking in certain resources, such as money, time, emotional support, etc. This feeling can lead to increased anxiety, unease, stress, and an intense focus on the resource in question. Sense of lack is not only a reaction to actual resource shortages, but can also be a subjective perception. Even there is no real shortage objectively. In this definition, it is important to know that the sense of lack is not an accurate reaction of the physical reality. This means a wealthy person can also feel lack of money, and people who receive a lot of attention and affection from the public can also feel lack of love. This is great news because it also means the opposite situation can also be true. Meaning, you may not feel the sense of lack of money when you are poor, and you may not feel lacking of love when you don't have much emotional support. So now let's talk about what is the logic behind the sense of lack. When you are deeply in the lacking mindset, it is very challenging to get out. However, if you look at other people's problem, other people's sense of lack, especially when you have a lot of that certain resource, it is easier to see that problem clearly. So when I was a kid, my father gave me 10 yuan to buy a watermelon. After I came home, I spent all the money. But my father said, this watermelon only worth 5 yuan. So he asked me to get the rest of the money back. But the guy who sold the watermelon claimed that I only gave him 5 yuan. Even both of my parents and I remembered it was 10. So obviously he was lying. So the watermelon guy had a strong sense of lack towards money. He got this opportunity to earn an extra 5 yuan from a kid, and he held on to it. However, what happened after this was my family never bought fruits from this guy ever again. So in the long run, he lost much more than 5 yuan. So the logic behind the sense of lack is fear and distrust. Fear that I will never get this kind of opportunity ever again. Distrust that I will not get enough of this resource in the future. This fear and distrust put people in survival mode, makes us tunnel vision so that we only see the very little resources right in front of us. And we feel like we need to hold on to it at all costs, making us unable to see any long-term possibilities. So how do you know if you are in the sense of lack right now? When we're in the sense of lack, we're unable to realize two things. One, what I have is already enough. Two, there are other options. Sometimes it is hard to tell the difference between passion and the sense of lack. I think passion is realizing that what I have is enough and there are other options, and still choose to do this thing because the process of doing it brings us joy. However, if the motivation to do this thing is the sense of lack, the process of doing it will be a torture to you. The sense of lack will get to its peak when people get a taste of what they've been lacking of. For example, if you've been single for a long time and you want to get into a relationship and you meet a person who you like and also like you back, or you get a business opportunity that potentially will earn you a lot of money when you've been poor for a long time. Under these circumstances, people will get overexcited and then get into this deeper fear. Fear that you will lose this once in a lifetime opportunity and will live in misery for the rest of your life. Does it sound familiar? So even if it is a good opportunity and everybody around you think you should be happy, but actually you may feel exhausted because of this emotional roller coaster. So how can we get rid of this sense of lack when we don't have that thing? The secret is the power of belief. Believe that we live in a world of abundance. You may think this is so far from the truth. I mean, look at the world. It is full of chaos and the lack of resources. I think you feel this way because you see it from a micro perspective. It is too big. If you view the world from an individual perspective, you will realize there is enough air, food, water, and money for one individual to survive. And if you want to find a suitable partner and feel like it is impossible to meet anyone, I mean, even there are very few people in the world that match your vibe, even as few as 1,000 people, there are a lot of people for you to choose from. All you need to do is that one individual who can survive in abundance is you. Believe that you will have enough money, that you will find the suitable partner, that you will find your place in the world, that good things will happen to you again and again, and opportunities will find you over and over again. You have to believe in order to eliminate this fear, to step out of the survival mode, to let go your current obsession with this particular resource, to realize that you are not in danger, to take a long-term perspective, and to see there are countless ways to get to your dreamland. But how can we believe when we don't have it? How can we believe in abundance with an empty bank account? How can we feel loved when we are rejected over and over again. Every time I think about this, I think about a person who tried to light a fire in the middle of a cold winter night. She has to concentrate and focus on the tiny sparks because every individual spark has the potential to start the fire. So when we are in the sense of lack, we have to focus on the brave moments of satisfaction. For example, I don't own any property I rent. I rarely buy furniture on my own. So I have this habit to go through an empty parking lot where people place their large garbages, which are mostly furnitures. Once I picked up a high quality full length mirror for free. And at that moment, I realized I don't need a lot of money to live a good life. And that realization brought me a great relief to my soul. So, if you collect these sparks of satisfaction and invest your energy into them, they will guide you out of the sense of lack. If what you like is love and emotional support, you need to spend more time with people who make you feel you're worthy of love. And distance from yourself from people who make you feel rejected. Or you need to constantly prove yourself to be accepted. In relationships, when you are deep in the sense of lack, you tend to hold on to people who cannot reciprocate your feelings. This behavior reinforces the belief of lack, that I am hard to love and I will never meet someone like them ever again. You must pull yourself out of this downward spiral. Talk to a friend you trust. Let them give you some love. Let them shine their light on you. Their warmth will help you realize that love is natural, is easy, is abundant. You don't need to chase love. All you need to do is leave the environment and the people who make you feel that love is hard to receive. And the love will come to you naturally. This is the end of this episode, and if you're watching this, I'm curious, what is your way to get rid of this sense of lack when you don't have that thing? Please leave me a comment, and I'll see you next time.